In the quiet stillness of July 16, 1945, the New Mexico desert, vast, barren, and majestic, prepared to host an extraordinary event. A 30-meter steel tower stood solitary, cradling a device that would forever alter the direction of humanity's progress: the world's first plutonium bomb. Years of scientific effort culminated in this singular moment, a test codenamed Trinity. As the clock ticked toward 5:29 a.m., tension gripped the air. Scientists, soldiers, and technicians stationed miles away braced themselves. When the button was pressed, the night turned to day. The explosion melted sand to glass, obliterated the steel tower, and illuminated the skies. Beyond its physical impact, that moment marked the birth of the nuclear age, sending ripples through history, science, and human consciousness. To understand what unfolded that fateful morning, we must journey back to the early 1940s. As World War II raged on, the race to harness atomic power became fierce. Adolf Hitler's Germany was rumored to be developing nuclear weapons, spurring the United States into action. Thus began the Manhattan Project, a colossal scientific undertaking. Over 130,000 people worked in secret laboratories and manufacturing facilities across the country, motivated by urgency and ambition. At its helm were some of the brightest minds of the 20th century, including physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, who came to be known as the father of the atomic bomb. The goal was nothing short of monumental, splitting the atom to unlock a force unlike any wielded before. The resulting bomb would have the power to end wars, but could also reshape the balance of power across the globe. After years of trials, errors, and breakthroughs, everything led to this moment in the Jornada del Muerto desert of New Mexico. The Trinity test site was prepared with extreme precision. A steel tower was erected to hold the bomb, allowing scientists to observe the explosion from a safe distance while measuring its effects. On the morning of July 16th, the weather was clear but heavy with anticipation. As the countdown began, the observers, scientists, military officials, and technical staff waited nervously. In the control bunker, J. Robert Oppenheimer was joined by General Leslie Groves, the Manhattan Project's military director. There were hopes for success, but also fears of failure, or worse, catastrophe. At precisely 5:29 a.m., the button was pressed. The bomb detonated with a blinding flash, illuminating the desert for miles. In the seconds that followed, the observers were struck silent by what they saw. The results were staggering. The fireball reached temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, vaporizing the steel tower instantly. A massive mushroom cloud ascended into the sky, stretching over 7 miles high. The force of the explosion shattered windows 120 miles away, grounding the awe-inspiring power of the bomb in harsh physical reality. The ground beneath the explosion became an otherworldly landscape. The intense heat fused the desert's sand into a greenish, glass-like substance now known as trinitite. This surreal transformation served as a visual testament to the raw power unleashed that day. For many scientists present, this was a triumphant culmination of years of relentless experimentation. For others, however, it was a deeply sobering moment. The practicalities of the bomb's success gave way to the chilling realization of what they had created, a weapon capable of unleashing unparalleled destruction upon the world. Amid the spectacle, the emotions of those present were profoundly complex. Some felt immense pride in their accomplishment. They had achieved what many believed to be impossible, a scientific triumph of precision and ingenuity. J. Robert Oppenheimer, however, expressed something deeper, quoting the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." His words captured the duality of the bomb's creation. It was not merely a tool to end war, but also a harbinger of potential devastation. Physicist Kenneth Bainbridge, who oversaw the test, reportedly said to Oppenheimer, "Now we are all sons of bitches," reflecting the moral ambivalence many felt in that moment. The lives of those who had spent years working on the project were forever changed. While they had accomplished an astounding feat of science, many began to question whether the world was ready for the power they had unleashed. When news of the Trinity test reached the highest levels of the U.S. government, its implications were immediately clear. Less than a month later, atomic bombs devastated the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, hastening the conclusion of World War II. Yet victory came at an unspeakable human cost, with tens of thousands killed instantly and more suffering from radiation. The successful detonation of the bomb at Trinity also marked the start of a new era, the nuclear age. What began as a race to defeat an enemy transformed into a geopolitical arms race between superpowers. The Cold War followed, with global tensions dictated by the shadow of mutually assured destruction. The cultural impact of the nuclear age was equally profound. The mushroom cloud became an iconic yet ominous symbol, finding its way into art, literature, and cinema. Films and stories grappled with the moral and existential questions surrounding humanity's newfound destructive power. At the same time, the scientific community began asking uncomfortable questions about the ethics of their work. Could the pursuit of progress justify its consequences? How could science avoid becoming a double-edged sword? These questions persist to this day. The Trinity test site remains a symbol of human ingenuity and the weight of its consequences. Today, the area is part of the White Sands Missile Range and is designated a National Historic Landmark. Twice a year it opens to the public, allowing visitors to walk the ground of what is now remembered as both a scientific milestone and a moral turning point. For scientists, historians, and the public, the Trinity test evokes a range of emotions: wonder at the achievement, grief for its consequences, and unease about the future it created. Trinitite pieces collected from the site serve as chilling mementos of the moment when humanity stepped into a new era, one defined by uncontrollable power. The Trinity test was more than a demonstration of science. It represented a seismic shift in human history. In the instant the bomb was detonated, the world moved into the nuclear age, a time of endless possibilities and existential threats. As we reflect on these moments decades later, one truth emerges: the development of nuclear weapons gave humanity the power to destroy itself, but it also brought a sense of responsibility for the future of our species. The scientists of the Manhattan Project wrestled with this duality, and so must we. Through the lens of history, the Trinity test serves as both a warning and a reminder. It demonstrates the heights of human innovation, but also the consequences of unchecked ambition. In this light, we are reminded to approach the future with caution, reverence, and a determination to channel scientific progress toward the betterment of all humankind.